Welcome back on Smart Television Live, and we continue to discuss analyzing the economic policies of this country. Our economic growth targets are not what we are expecting, and we want to reach there as possible. My dear guests, coming back to you, Dr. Kimesi Alon, and who is the Dean, Senior Lecturer of Faculty of Science and Technology. We appraise the way how the government have invested in technology. And we know it step by step. I'm not yet flying in the air, but yet we must be real in terms of our commitment. And together with Honorable Lakel Sharon Baramoy, the woman representative, Gulu District, I will be posing a question to you to give us the indicators of technology and industrialization, and whether it is giving impact the economic growth at a level of your district. To interpret a national economic growth, dear Honorable, it always begins with the per capita income and the individual household income, and then takes to per capita income, and then finally we are able to compute and say, now the level of our economic growth is to the best targets which we are talking about, where we are having limited numbers of those who are living under poverty. Those who are living under poverty, that means $1.9 US, you have a population maybe at 5% or 2% which are living at that pace or above. 7,000 are approximate 7,000 US. And we are saying technology and industrialization plays a big part if we are to achieve economic growth. I've not today talked about agriculture, neither tourism. Before we went for a short break, I was still on one-on-one with Dr. Kimesi Alon. And I was much more interrogating the facts relating with the realities of our technology and industry. And we were dwelling on industrialization. My dream for Uganda and what is in this National Development Plan is that every sub-region at least supposed to be excelling with over 2-3 industries. If they are not based on agriculture, they should be based on the existing natural resources, especially the mineral resource. But this is not yet realized. We are facing the realities, Doctor. And we're also looking at what might have not led us to achieve these targets. Because it is, we know, we talked about Vision 2040, and this is not realized. Why has it not progressed at a pace which is equal to Malaysia, Singapore, who were at the same level with Uganda in terms of economic growth? And what should be done? Because at the end of the day, you as an academician, I would be interested to look at, also after interrogating the problem, what should be done. So that now you have many cases, I know. You have cases of Russia, you have cases of USA, how they have spent much in technology. It's a pleasure to have you again in that discourse.
Yeah, thank you so much, Professor Tindiawa, the moderator. Still, I can attribute why I'm saying that we are not achieving this. I think also from the academic point of perspective or point of view, we could say about the model that we adopted. I think the economic model which we are talking about, the open economy, whereby we have players, where the private sector that is coming in and which can dictate where the industries can be. I think that can have been one of the factors that led the decline or the collapse of industries in the ginger, and also the political happenings that happened during Amini's time, I think also have been another factor, because this is where our economy really limped, because we saw where the former president giving our factories, houses, and even businesses to people who don't have any skills about them. And of course, everything is attributed to the current government, which I don't think so. I think that it is also an historical thing. So what does it mean? I mean, what is the way forward I can say about that is that we need to adapt new models, especially with using the new technologies that have come in. As I said, if we can encourage innovations, you can encourage startups. And another thing also, African countries, including Uganda, we have been thriving on foreign investors coming in. I've loved it, our government saying, buy Uganda, that is what?
Build Uganda.
Yeah, buy Uganda, build Uganda. I think that is the way it has to go. And even we have seen the recent development, Russia. I think people are thinking that this one is going to come to an end, but I think this is an opportunity for African countries. I think I started here by saying that Uganda has got a lot of natural resources. I think even right now our government has realized this about now the petroleum. I love it every evening on UBC. I think not only UBC, they are playing up about petroleum authority something to show us where we are going to be. Okay, so I think we need to encourage the local development. I think even the industries which were in danger, Dr. Tindeba was a young man. If I can remember, all shops on Main Street from Ginger Main Town Hall up to Dandrop, the shops were owned by Indians. And what happened when I mean just them? It means that everything collapsed, not so. And now the coming government is coming in and all that. Of course, as we have political challenges, definitely also it goes with our image. Not so. Right now, attracting investors coming to Uganda, I think especially the Indian family, they will say now there is still what? I mean, even the recent one about Mavila, what happened, I think also it added the salt in an injury that now also we are seeing what. But I think we cannot dwell on that. We are saying we have to encourage buy Uganda, develop Uganda, which we are talking about. And now leveraging on the new technologies, which I was talking about, the fourth industrial revolution that we are having right now. I think you are talking of how are we going to do building our models. I think somebody is talking about that our people are flying all that. I think I don't need to be in the US because now we are sharing the same road, the internet. Internet is a road, is a public road. So I don't need to go to the US to know how to use the internet. It is just here that how are we going to throw our incubations. I think for us in the academia, right now, we are training our students in my faculty in the field of artificial intelligence. Have you heard about it? Mm-hmm. Blockchain technology. Okay. Mm-hmm. We are talking about Internet of Things. Right now, this is what we are doing here, Internet of Things, combining. We are here, but we have many people listening to us, not so? Mm-hmm. We are having intelligent cameras here. I think long ago is when somebody could be on that camera, but the camera is able to spot you wherever you are. So if it can do that, then it means we can come up with models if we are able to know how people in Kampala behave. Then also it's very easy to predict how somebody in Gulu behaves by building models. What things can we look at? How do we consume our food? How much money is used in Kampala for us in the technology? We are going to come up with a model and map it to the group of people. That's what I was talking about, that what we have been doing, we could just bring the model which has been used in the US and we think it can work. But if I can use a model developed in Kampala, then it is very easy for us to make it. Like the recent government was giving people money during the COVID time. And I saw the Prime Minister was like, have you got the money? I think those platforms are being what? I think those are milestones that we need to learn. That within ourselves here, we are able to bring a change and change the lives of the person at the grassroots. So we must embrace the fourth industrial revolution, the blockchain, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence. We are talking about robotics. Okay, of course, we may have not advanced to that level of robotics, but the artificial intelligence, I think that we can have it, and then maybe also investing in the infrastructure. You were asking me about the computers. How many computers are we having down there at the grassroots? But I think there is a plan. The vision 2040 is not yet. This is 2023. I'm very optimistic that the government will be able to. A vision is a vision. A vision will never touch it. But at least I think this can be translated, must have been translated into certain segments, and which now we are seeing the president saying we have to move from the petrol cars, and we moved to the electric cars. Of course, it may seem very fast. Somebody may be talking about that this is a dream, but which I don't think so, because we have the data that is able to help us to do what any person in the US can do. And another thing, the human resource. I think already the human resource, this government has tried to invest in the human resource to provide. We are here, we are an example. Me and you, I think we are coming from a private what? By that time, I think there was only Makerere University, but as we talk right now, the best of the human resource that this government has produced, I think it's the time to say that we are able to translate, to move from the other level to another level. Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, I thank you for your submission. I was following you step by step.
Yes.
But you leave the viewers with hope. By this hope, I'm not a negativist, I'm a positivist too. I pray that it shall be realized.
Yes.
The reason why I remained watching you like this, I was recalling a number of statements made. We ever had Vision 2020, and that Vision 2020 had promised us to be a middle income status.
Yeah, Vision.
We also, that one wasn't achieved.
Yes.
That's where I'm coming from. Yeah. Then we also have already Vision 2030. 2030, there was a declaratory statement. By 2020, all Ugandans are going to be not under poverty, living under poverty. And by 2012, for information, 2010 and 2007, I was implementing one of a government program as a sub-county chief. I worked for this government. And there was an inspiration that all citizens are going to, we shall have NADS, and that's what called the program coined as a drive called Prosperity for All. Every Ugandan was supposed to, according to that program, I was taken to Chankwanze and I was given a good lecture like how the professor is giving me one. And they said, now, after 1 month, now you go, make sure that every villager must be able to get the NADS money and will earn, every year will be able to tell us that he has 20 million. And we went through, it's a training school indeed. We came back charged and said, yes, we are going to make it every rural person, every Ugandan, 20 million. It is possible. I began our meetings, our civil awareness programs, civic education. But up to today, that's not yet realized. Yesterday, the other week, we were discussing the topic of where 85% of the Karamoja sub-region are under poverty, are living in the poverty line, under the poverty line, 85%, according to the report by UBOS, to 21 and to 22. 65% are Chol sub-region, they are living under poverty. And yet, the promise we have is industry, the promise we have is technology. So, coming back to you, Honorable, I'll be coming back to you to give you an analytical point of view. I'm going to get to that. You have known what we are looking at.
Okay, fine.
Coming to you, Honorable, and with these poverty rates, which are ranging in the country, the report is available. 85, that is Acholi sub-region. Lango was at 64. West Nile was at 59% of the poverty rates. Coming back to you, Honorable, looking at where we are, I'm not saying government has done nothing. There's where you come from, I agree with you. We didn't have these cameras, we didn't have these televisions, we didn't have this and that, but still we are lacking when our people are not productive. They are not productive because industries are not there. They are not productive because the technology is still low. We are having this one, we are having in Kampala, but we go back to our region. How are we and where do we want to be? What is your take on that?
Yes, Dr. Joseph, thank you very much. Allow me once again start by appreciating this far we've come. On my earlier statement, I said we've come a long way, and we should thank the government of Uganda under the stewardship of His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni for having brought us this far. Indeed, we haven't reached where we ought to be, but we are getting there. If you recall back, Uganda has had a number of civil wars that we went through, and that hampered development. But I thank God, as we speak now, the NRM government has tried its best to bring peace to this country. A case in point is northern Uganda, and Gulu district in particular, where I come from. We've had wars for over 2 decades, and that deterred or hampered development. But I'm glad right now we have peace. When there is war, a lot of things cannot happen. I want to appreciate the fact that much as we have reached somewhere, a lot still needs to be desired, in the sense that we in Kampala, a lot of good things happening. We are seeing good things. We are sitting in an AC studio, and in homes and in offices, people are rolling chairs and all these. While back in our constituencies, in our mother districts,
Exactly.
people are still languishing in poverty. As you already know, Gulu, actually sub-region, region, by UBO's report, we were ranked the poorest, at 85%.
65%.
I mean, sorry, 65%.
The second poorest.
The second poorest. And yet in the past, Gulu district used to be the food basket. No, actually, sub-region used to be the food basket of this country. But now we have peace, but at the same time we are still poor. Why? Because some of this technological development is still not, being utilized in Acholi sub-region or in other districts of Uganda. I mean, nationally, they only don't want to talk about Gulu district or Acholi. If you go to Karamoja, if you go to some part of Basoga, people are still languishing in poverty simply because they don't have what it takes for them to market their products. You could probably have cultivated enough, hills that could fetch you enough money, but you don't have what it takes to market your products or your goods to the market or bring it to the market, because some of our roads are also not very okay. And then apparently we're also dealing with the issues of weather. The rain patterns have changed, and it really caused poverty. We have a number of radio stations, but how many people can afford to advertise their products on the radio station? Gulu district has no TV station at all. How can the business community market their products? How many people can afford internet services? How many people have TVs? How many people have electricity? Talk about even, let alone TVs, just electricity, connectivity to their homes. Actually, in Gulu district, I must say, the electricity connectivity is probably at only 20%.
20%.
Yes, it's at 20%, but I believe we are going to get there. Why 20%? Simply because most of my people live in grass-thatched houses. You cannot connect power in grass-thatched houses, so we are going to get there. The schools have no power, so how can we even afford computer literacy? Because we don't have what powers the gadget, and I believe with time we are going to get there. That's why I'm saying let's take one step at a time and also appreciate how far we have gone, but I'm very optimistic that we are going to get there.
Before we go on, you have some good points you've raised.
Yes.
In our realities. And the 20% of those who are accessing electricity. And if we go deeper into the UBOS report, we can be able to trace even the percentage of those who are living in grass-thatched houses.
Oh, yes.
Then it is again real to us that schools have no power.
Yes.
And yet our aspiration to the dream that we are hopeful that will be realized is to have if not 20, if not 100%, but at least 80%, leaving the 20%, now going to 80%. Electricity, especially extension of power grid lines, and also some companies, they seem not to be existent. The electricity megawatt, as per the measurement, is higher than how we started because of the construction of dams. And at the policy making level, that's why I would like to first look at these 3 points. To look at number one, whether, because we want to have the hope, the real hope,
Right.
whether your district, maybe they are planning, working with you in the center, to look at how we can have access to electricity in the next 5 years from 20 and we cover to 80. Because power is there, what now makes it difficult? And I don't want another story again. If you were a politician, you, not you, mama. If you were a politician, a doctor, and again you say, we are going to extend electricity, then the story is the same. No, I don't know why I'm ambitious a bit, but we want to have realities. Number two, grass-thatched houses. How long should we remain with the grass-thatched houses? There's a time when I went there, by the way, I was concerned. Then schools have no power. If they don't have power, my doctor and yourself, honorable, the education literacy, that means collapses at the start. Because no electricity, no computer, then everything remains in paper. What is the projection of achieving this? Now that you have gone into the realities, we can talk.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I'm a policy maker. That's
Yes.
the beauty of it.
Yes.
So I'm sure I will legislate for my people.
Mm.
We have Aswara River
Mm.
that has already is generating power.
Mm.
And thank God we are already benefiting from that power. I can assure you almost all the districts in northern Uganda, they have power. And the power is being stepped up from Aswa, except for...
Only the challenge is accessibility.
Yeah, accessibility is only the challenge, simply because, like the trading centers, most trading centers, shops do have power.
Is there a plan to ensure that this challenge of accessibility is solved?
Yes, it can be solved, but the challenge is right now, as I already said, people who can afford iron sheet homes or permanent homes. Some who have the money have power, but those who cannot afford to build a permanent home or houses, for that matter, are the ones who do not have power.
Honorable, we are
That
going
tells
to
you-
a commercial break now,
Okay,
and
thanks.
you have brought it very well. That's what I desired from you, the realities. So there is economic disparities. Those who have, they have power. Those who don't have, they cannot. And we want to get the bigger percentage, the 80%, to be part of this. And that's when we'll be sure that our economic targets are being realized.
True.
Now you see the topic is real. And finally, we'll get a solution. Stay tuned to Smart 24 TV. We are facing the reality of our economy and also aspiring to achieve the economic targets. And with the policymaker and the academician, we are looking at it, how it is, and possibly analyze how to come out of it, and not take many years, because time is running faster. The 18 years is small for us. Very soon you will find that 2040 is already here with us. And your son will ask you, but why were you daddy? When the things are not changing? Thank you for staying tuned on Smart 24 TV. See you in the next session.